Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for you got it, Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also, know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look in everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadow, see how they play out as karmic themes to help you understand why your person's doing what they're doing, why you're attracted to someone that triggers you. What is the whole purpose of the connection? And how everything happens in the spiritual realm long before it happens in the physical realm because we are spiritual beings having human experiences. So the universe brings us what we need through our karmic partners. And now there's different levels of karmic partners. We tend to associate past life karmic mates with the really hard lessons. And so again, these readings tend to again bring out these type of dynamics within the connection, again to help you understand, not to get this person back a lot of times, but to help you heal the effects of trauma, because a lot of times we get to the point where we don't even want to be connected to the person anymore. We just you know get comfortable in being uncomfortable. Hey, Diane and Zombie Molly and everybody else that's on. Now, if you're new to the channel, know that you always have an opportunity to enter into winning a free reading with me, but you have to like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out. Hey, Tantia. Um, it's the underlining energy that tells us what everyone's doing, what they're doing, which I explained to you why that's important. But it's also you have to reach out to me through my email. You have to tell me what days and times that you're available, what channel you found me on, and you have to be open to getting the reading done live. I believe in spiritual law. It's what's best for everyone. So you can like make it private. You can send me all your questions the day before in an email, you know, you know, but I believe in that because like I said, that's the way that the universe works. It's what's best for everyone. Otherwise, then someone always feels jilted, right? I mean, it really should be what's best collectively for for everyone. And these readings, like I said, you'll find that you resonate with a lot of other people also resonate with your story, and that's because there's only so many only so many behaviorisms a person can do that's a karmic, right? So it's like, and having building a community with like-minded people that have gone through such trauma is important, because otherwise then we feel like, what am I, stupid? Why didn't I see it? It helps to like have you know the other people that are actually in the comment bar. Hey, pup chubs, like to be able to chime in about their experiences so that you can see it from different perceptions to see how other people handled it. And what you'd see is a lot of the way that you guys have handled it is very similar. You're welcome. I know it is a crazy time that we're living. We're living in spiritual times right now. And spiritual times are ones that actually bring up every single trauma that you've ever experienced. And it's where we see everything in the outside world looks really imbalanced. And the reason why is pushing us to work on ourselves, is pushing us to go inward. When you don't feel safe, what do? Like you kind of try and tap in to try and get some sort of divine guidance. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. Problem is, if you have a lot of spiritual blocks, then you tend to not be able to receive that guidance as good as you should. And not because you don't hear it, but a lot of times you're not trusting what you hear. Okay, so the word of the video is determination. I want to pull another one. Well, it's like I feel like you're in separation from someone that is determined to make their way back to you before you again are determined to like again you're on your path. You're trying to make something happen. Like you gave up on this situation a long time ago. It's like doesn't mean that you don't have feelings. Doesn't mean that you don't feel the connection. But you're like I threw in the towel a long time ago because it's not like I didn't try to make it work, but the person someone was at the time was committed to not making it work is what I'm feeling. But the determination is on all parts. It's almost like the person that's connected to you knows that the clock is ticking, and it's like it's only a matter of time before you like completely like cut the cord. And when I say cord, you've already walked away from this person, but energetically, see your thoughts and your emotions are still connected to this person. And the reason why is because nothing has taken its place. Alchemy teaches us that we can't just get rid of negative energy. We actually have to transmute it. You have to put something in its place. So until you meet someone or life changes, and life has not changed yet 100%, you're like in this in between phase, I feel like, well then you're still like energetically connected. Doesn't mean that this person doesn't feel you pulling away, though. Again, intolerance. So, where, like I said, you're determined to not be with this person because you're intolerant to their BS at this point. You're like, you threw in the towel, like I said, because you're like, there's just too many things. Like, this person makes the relationship too difficult. So, let's see what this person did, why they did it, how they did it. And again, we don't look at to see why they did it to try and manipulate them. We look at it what they did so that we can look at the situation of how they treated us through a different perception. So that you can say, well, that's your crap. That's not mine. It's like, but then you could also say, well, you're like wounded and that you're not really that evil monster that I perceived that you were. Doesn't mean that their actions and behaviorism you get to look at the situation differently because we know that you can't cast out darkness with darkness. And Martin Luther King taught us that, right? um, that you have to rise above it. You have to, again, that's when you really set yourself free from that negative energy, because karmics pretty much mean that that it's not that there's not love, but over time there's so much mistrust and there's so much hurt and pain that after a while it's like I can't even, like, I'm just like intolerant to it. It's like I can't anymore. And it's like you see this the this is a labyrinth. So it's almost like, where it's not like you haven't thought about it. I feel like you've meditated on this and thought about this person more energy, more time than you would like to admit. It's like this person's closed-minded. And that's why you're intolerant. You're like where it's like you're almost like in a power struggle. By where they're just rebellious. For like it's like you just make it difficult to make it difficult. Well, that's somebody that's giving you mixed signals. They don't they don't feel confident enough to express themselves. So and it's mainly because this person doesn't not know. Like that's what I just said. They don't know. But it's not because they don't know that they don't have aren't attracted to you and that there isn't a connection. But when a person doesn't know who they are and they're like, I want to be tied down to a connection, and understand any person that doesn't know who they are never has good connections. They either get lost in their connections or they tend to not really be in any connection. They have a second chakra imbalance, not knowing who you are. You're lost. It's again what happens is you tend to mold to the environment to get comfortable because you're insecure. No one wants to feel lost and not know who they are, feel non purposeful. And again, like feeling that they have no purpose. Like you said, not knowing direction. So they look for the answer outside. They like you. They see that you have all the ingredients, but you know, you can't come in and promise everything and lose yourself in the relationship and then 3 months down the line change your mind, and that's what happens with this person. And so, I feel like it's not like you didn't try to talk to this person, but they're like in denial about themselves. And I feel like for a long time, because there was such a strong connection, you were in denial about them, though, thinking that they were going to change, and that's what this person you know, uh, tend to do because, like you said, they form attachments, which is again they commit too soon. And they commit too soon. Why? Because they don't know who they are. They don't have I don't want to say that they don't have an identity, because people do go to school, they go to college, they get a degree, but then after a while, when you feel like you're working the same job every day, everything's the same. So excitement and happiness, how do you get it? You get it from outside things. So this person again is lost because it's like at the time I feel like I really like it, and then I don't like it, which happens because again you jump into a relationship 1,000 miles an hour. You're in the bedroom the whole time. Uh, Everything gets burnt out. Like you said, it just almost like the needing of attachment. And then the problem is that here they come in 1,000 miles an hour, like molding to the environment, and then what you're resistant, finally you let your guard down, finally you get comfortable, and then this person doesn't want it anymore. It's like, so obviously it creates a lot of drama, it creates a lot of problems, it creates imbalances. And so that's what it is. This person had one foot in and they had one foot out because they acted like they didn't know what they wanted, because not because of you, because you have your life together, but because of how they are in relationships. Again, out of tune, feeling that they don't belong anywhere. It's like in a world of their own. So again, they create the facade, the persona, like a rebel without a cause. We're seeing it again, right? Which we saw that before, like that this person was a little bit rebellious. That's what it was saying before. Again, like needing to appear different. And that's what happens when a person doesn't feels inadequate. They're not walking around with one arm longer than the other saying, I feel inadequate. No one's doing that. It's like they create a persona. And the persona is, I'm a tough guy. I'm a tough girl. I don't need to be loved. I don't need that. It's like, because I'm really afraid to let you get that close. And it's all because of, again, their inadequacies. But again, they're never going to act like that. They're going to act self-righteous. They're going to act, tough. Like, I don't need love. I'm always right. It's my way or the highway. And being in that type of energy makes you really tired. Both people, it actually makes feel very tired, because the person's creating the persona and acting rebellious. It's tiresome to always wear a mask, because that's not who this person really is. It's just better than the alternative, which is, I feel inadequate. So what I would rather do is drink, like, drink a lot, and then I could be the life of the party. I can, really be outlandish. I can get a lot of attention. I can be, I create this whole persona, but in that they're not building real connection. No one wants to build a connection with someone that needs attention and it needs to be like that. And so it's like it's their way of ensuring their self-fulfilling prophecy of believing that they can't be loved. So it's like, because they feel inadequate. And so, being in a connection with this, the person's always going to create a lot of drama in the relationship. And what you feel is angry. And it's because, again, when you create personas, you're not coming from the true self, the higher self. That's life isn't going to last a long period of time. It gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse, because you're not coming from the heart. You're coming from the logical, analytical, strategizing mind where it seems like the person's always trying to get over. That's what it feels like. And that's because they're not really letting you in. This word gets thrown around a lot, but we're going to say it like almost like this narcissistic energy. But anyone that's closed down their heart and is afraid to let people in because they're afraid of abandonment, because they have abandoned themselves a long time ago, and that's from whatever their childhood trauma was, and then the karmic theme that continued to play out. So it's like, this is the way that this person can, relinquish control, but this doesn't mean that they don't have feelings. A lot of times you'd be like, this, what was the point? It's that what you're seeing here is a lot of, personas. Person creates the persona built on the reality that they perceive that they're living. Now, this person seems to be stuck in the past. So to even go into the relationship and understand, this person could have been married at one time and then divorced, and now their life is starting completely all over again, and they don't know where they belong, which is normal. However, the answer is not to run into a relationship and try and find that answer. It's to, again, create yourself, to become yourself. And so, that's the thing. This person is a little bit paranoid. And they're paranoid because, again, they don't trust themselves. And part of it is because they focus a lot on like the physical connection, not enough on the emotional connection. And it's about them being in full control. I mean, even to the point of dominance when you see that. And it's because of their inner child healing. It's like they need inner child healing. They have issues of abandonment. And so they, again, create this self-image that, really is not, it's not going to give them good results. It's always going to keep them in a place of victimization because, they're not, them having a closed heart, not giving anything, creating this mean exterior. People are not going to keep giving. And, you can feel that the person is, why are they strategizing? Why are they deceiving? Why are they trying to get over on me? Because they're so afraid of getting hurt. So all that they do is create like a lot of trust issues, because of their illusions. And you're like, well, you lie to me. Well, they're lying to you because they don't like who they are. So they're lying by creating the illusions, but they're not seeing on so much deeper level that this person like is full of fear. As then they're full of fear because they don't know who they are. Who they truly are. They wind up in karmic contracts, and it's because they focus too much on the physical body. And unfortunately, the relationship itself tends to be empty because, they're not taking the time to actually build, to be transparent, to build an emotionally connected relationship. They're too busy manipulating and thinking that just because that this is a past life connection, that you'll stick around for it because, well, they can feel the connection. But it all comes down to their lack. And lack, I always say, well, we see lack of money, but lack really is a state of mind. Money has no energy except for the energy that you give it. So this person not knowing like who they are, what they want to do with their life, they'll look around at other people's life and try and emulate it. But, that's only going to get you so far. And it's not going to, you're not going to, if your heart's not in it, you can't be consistent. You're going to be back and forth. So again, this person's very codependent, creates a lot of those type of attachments, which only lead to betrayal. And it all is rooted from, again, their parents. And so they hide behind their addictions. That's the problem. This person, as long as they suppress their feelings and their emotions, they'll never change. You'll always be in a place of victimization. It's like, but that's really what this person believes about themselves. And like I said, it doesn't mean that you should run into the relationship. What it means is like this person has to do a lot of healing on their own due to the family that they were brought up in, how they feel about themselves. They have to figure out what they want to do with their life, because a relationship isn't should not be your entire life. And if you don't know like what you want to do, and you're going to lie a lot about, your life to make it more tantalizing. No one wants to be with the loser that says, well, I don't do anything all day. You know what I mean? I don't really know what I want to do. I hate my job. I hate my life. No, because with that energy comes lack. So no one's going to act like they don't have a lot. They're going to, if anything, like go overcompensate for that. Be self-righteous of, oh, I have a lot. Be the illusion, when meanwhile, what are they doing? They're rushing into the relationship, and it's all about the sex. It's all about the passion. But then you're saying, like, down the line, who am I in a relationship with? It's like not who you thought. You bought the illusions. And then, like I said, that's why they could create that rebellious attitude of, it's a persona. It's like, it always reminds me of Seinfeld, George Costanza on Seinfeld, when he gets the job and he says, and they said, how do you get the job for the Yankees? And he said, oh, I just act mad all the time. When you look mad, you look busy. No one approaches you. So meanwhile, he didn't know how to do anything with the job. He gets a job because he acted angry, and he just acts busy all the time. Like he acts angry all the time. So everyone thinks that he's so busy, like having so much to do. That's like this person creating like a facade, and people believe it. But it's tiresome. And it's like they're in their old patterns and they can't see it. It's like if they get triggered. They have feeling for you. They get triggered because, again, they like you. They don't like who they are. So they create the illusion, and they create so much of it that they're not creating that connection with you. And they judge this. And because it's, again, that they get triggered. And they get triggered because a higher perspective, it's like this connection is really helping them to like clear energy, and to really help them, like bring them closer to you, believe it or not. But they judge the connection because they get triggered a lot. And they're like, well, if I'm supposed to be with you, why do I feel like crap? They feel like crap about themselves. So again, having strong feelings for you, but they're not walking around saying, oh, I don't think I feel inadequate. But down deep inside, all through this reading, that's what it says, that they don't feel, that they don't know who they are. So the connection is really triggering, because this person loses themselves in other connections, gives other people too much power. And then when the relationship doesn't work because they sold them something that they're completely not, so the relationship ends toxically, then it's like, it's this person's afraid of relationships. So they'd rather be in control. And with you, they have no control because they actually have feelings. That's why, again, they judge it. See, in order for them to get triggered, again, which is what the spiritual connection is, spirit saying, I need this person to look at their behavior. They don't see anything that's wrong with them. They don't know. They're asleep to it. So they're not just going to look. I'm going to bring them their soulmate. I'm going to bring them a person like the karmic person to help them to see it. So, like I said, them having strong feelings brings about not just the feelings for you and what they would have to do and the person that they would have to step up into, but all the things that they need to really like fix within themselves and heal within themselves. And I know this is more than a relationship, and that there is a higher purpose to our connection. So again, that there's a reason why you're in their life, because I feel like it's not an easy relationship. This is not easy for this person. It's easy to be on the surface. It's easy to create the illusion and have a one and done and could be the life of the party with their their liquid courage and whatever else that they do to try to, suppress all their feelings of inadequacies. So, to actually not be able to walk away from someone where this person's like, well, they've been a master at detaching from people and not, forming those connections. Because anyone that gets close is going to see you're living a sham. You're not that person. So they don't let people in. They do a one and done and they stay in their ego and it feels great. And so it's again, why do I have this connection to you? And then you don't even make me feel good. You like triggering me. And that's because the spirit says, it's all about helping this person evolve back into their natural energy of unconditional love by showing them where they need, healing, but they're not evolved enough. They just can't walk away from the connection. So they're like, I feel like there's a part of this person that wants to control the connection. And I say that because, again, this person's ego is fragile to criticism and rejection, and they create walls to like protect themselves. And that's what you're dealing with, which, again, Spirit says, yeah. And so you got to like hold off and being anything with this person until they surrender their ego, because the ego is blocking them from the unconditional love, which is what they really are. The ego, remember, a lot of it is made during, experiences that we live. So, like I said, this person just doesn't believe that this relationship could be too good to be true. That's why they judge it. It's like, why do I have feelings? It makes them think, where normally they just would walk away, but they can't walk away. That's the issue. I feel your energy around me and I wonder, are you thinking of me too? So again, this person like really wants you to be thinking about them. Um, but ESP through the heart and mind, your past life, they knew you then, you found each other in this life, they have an opportunity to step it up. They can step it up into twin flame energy to actually transmute this energy. They can, again, choose to heal. That's why the universe makes it difficult, because the universe actually wants them to heal. They don't want to heal. Their ego is like, no, I don't really want this. I'm resisting this because, you know, remember all those other relationships that you had, and oh, I'm going to get all involved and you're not going to like me anyway. And then again, what might happen, what could happen, which are not really going to happen, but this person is convincing themselves that that's what would happen. Sometimes I feel like you're speaking to me in my head. At times it triggers me because I wonder how much you can see into me. Yeah, because listen, the guy has the headphones on, right? So you know that this person is thinking about you all the time, and then the damn song comes on. And then they think about you and the song, baby, come back, or like I was a fool, whatever. They're like, and they're thinking like they're resonated with that music. They feel your energy around them. It's again, the universe is talking to them clearly, being like, it's like right here, get out of your survival mode, out of your head and get into your heart. And where this person is like, again, like fighting it. But when you're trying to fight something and trying not to think about something, you're thinking about it, you can't help but to think about it. And the universe is purposely doing that. Like, let's put another song on the radio. Let's make that person look like this person. Let that person on the TV be that person's name. Like, so this person is like surrounded by it and they can't deal with it. And that's why they're like, there's a lesson to be learned from all this. There's got to be a reason, because love like ours can change the world. I know that because it's deep, but this person, they're up in their head a lot about it. And that's because of their past relationships and they just, again, their life. But this is a clear vision of what it looks like when a person gets in their own way and sabotages himself. I'll contact you when I'm able to. Right now, my life is too complicated to bring you into it, but know that I do want to talk to you. So I believe that this person creates a lot of like drama in their life. It's either, again, when a person doesn't like themselves and they have addictions, well, you can see how they sabotage themselves, with a job and with just things that they need to do, that how this person has been conducting themselves, like a one and done, like really operating from their lower energies. So I feel like I said, part of the reason why they don't like themselves is because they're like, look at my life. And it's like, well, you have to change your habits and your behaviorisms. But this person would have to like really clear the ancestral karma, is what we saw, because they have incarnated with patterns. So, you know, and the universe is trying to help them. They're seeing synchronicities like your name or 111 and working out what they mean. The whole point is that the universe is like, you know where you have to go. You know where you want to go. You're afraid. You're afraid to be in the relationship, and they're like, damn straight. I don't believe I don't believe I don't feel deserving, and it's affecting my levels of abundance and openness. And that's like, it's again, goes, everything falls back to this person's self-esteem. It's like, but there are messages being exchanged through music and movies. So again, the universe is still like, duh, like it's like I said, this person's trying to like give themselves like a thousand reasons of why this connection won't work. And the universe is like, yeah, but you know that this is what you want. And I'm gonna like, again, the like send you messages through everything. Again, you can turn on the TV, that person's name is all you're going to hear. Everything's going to remind you of them. It's like you can't escape it. You can't escape it. And that's because this person's like trying to ignore it. Words have hurt me in the past, and that's why I feel talking to you. It's like, again, with being with somebody that can't communicate, it's like annoying. It's really annoying, because they'll do a lot of things to trigger you, to get a reaction from you. And which is what you saw before, that goes with the rebellious energy and that fake persona and the self-righteousness. It's really, like I said, annoying energy, because the person's like, when they communicated at one point, they got yelled at. So this is how you teach a child, when the child always gets screamed at, because they're just expressing themselves, or they're just saying what's happening. What the parent is really doing is teaching that child to lie. And so what happens is that there's almost like this sense of that. I'm praying you'll come back after everything that's happened between us. I worry that you won't forgive me and allow me another chance. And that's because, again, people get fed up with this person and they don't give them another chance. See, this person cut themselves off from love. So they have self sabotaging behavior. It's where they form a lot of psychological reversals, and where they just, again, continually sabotage the relationship because they don't really believe that they're deserving of love. This person needs a lot of reassurance, and that's why they form attachments. So you would kind of have to like dumb me down to be with this person, because they're not going to come in all week and say, oh, I'm this way. No, they're going to come in being self-righteous. They're going to come in being very controlling and dominant. Like, again, like I'm this person, like I'm a confident person, but it's, again, like they're not confident. Because they're the people that are confident don't need to put on the act, is what you know. And so it's like, this person is like, my heart has been hurt from a previous relationship, and they feel like they're still like trying to like deal with that karmic contract in order to like really be free from it. And that's the thing, it's like part of their mind is still, like I said, on like a karmic like a tie. So even though the relationship's over, there's still an energetic tie from that previous relationship, because this person has never learned to heal, and I feel like they gave a lot in that relationship. So there's a little bit of that. And this is When we talk, sometimes things just come out of my mouth, and afterwards, I'm not even sure why I said them. That's terrifying to this person because understand, you can't really see the words, but here, there you go. It's like, but but that's the thing. This person, like has feelings for you. They want to. They're fighting it. The spirit knows, but because of this previous relationship, it's like they're holding on to all those that. So it's almost like I'm not going to be willing to, even try because I'm sure that you're not going to stay with me. And I feel like that tends to happen like when you're in a connection with someone that abuses you, where like I feel like again, this person winds up every time they wind up going into a relationship, forming the attachment, not being able to, you know, you know, stay at that level of giving and molding to what the person wants, because that's really what an attachment is. It's like you're doing everything to kind of secure your place. You don't really believe that the person really wants you to be there. So you become everything that that person wants you to be. But then how long can you fake the funk? It's like after a while this person doesn't want to do that. And so again, they create a lot of drama within the relationship. So it's like they want this connection, but they don't think it can last. That's what the problem is. And as long as they're going to be like that, it's never going to, they can never heal. And so what you feel like is like after a while, this connection just broke away because you were like, it's just lies. And what we see here is that this person really just can't get out of their own way. It's like they care too much about how they appear, the relationship, how it needs to go, that it's not even getting off the ground. And it's not because this person doesn't have feelings, it's because they're still energetically, whether or not they're with that person still, which I feel like it's ended, but it's almost like the person never like healed from it. So they're like, I'm just going to go into the next connection and it's going to happen the same exact way. And you're like, I don't want to pay for what someone else did. You're intolerant to that. That's why you're determined to be like, oh, you're not coming back because you want to be connected to me, but you don't have any plans of really giving me anything. You're gonna fight it. You're gonna make it so difficult. But you want me to come back to you. You want me to understand you that you've been hurt. But what about the fact that, I've been hurt? What about like, that's really, just because there's a past life connection and you can feel the love, you have to nurture the connection. This person's intimacy issues and their avoidant problems make that extremely impossible. The avoidant through addictions, avoidant through lies, avoidant through creating illusions, and just poor me. Like I don't think that a relationship's going to work out. They're so afraid of betrayal that they don't see that they're actually betraying you. So like I said, it's very like this person needs to do healing because you could say, I know that they have feelings. They do have feelings. That's what it looks like, and it looks like that. So they would love to have a relationship with no rules. They would love to have a relationship because, hey, it always winds up to be an attachment, but understand that's the way this person knows how to be in a relationship. So even though they would say that they want it to be a certain way, this person's needy. They're not strong within themselves. They don't know who they are. So they're not strong within. So again, they would want to be like almost like a child, like a kid. Like, I want to do what I want to do, but I want you to still be here. And no one wants that. It's like, but they're going to fight it the whole way. When really it's like you're fighting it because you don't know what you want. And it did say that there. And it's not because of you, but understand it'll make you feel like it's because of you. And that's what we need to look at. We need to say, what's the whole spiritual significance to attracting a person that's like a child? I want to say like a child because it's like, I want you, but I don't like me. I don't believe like I can, like, they like the idea of you. But why would the universe bring you a person that was like this? What are you supposed to learn? What was the spiritual significance of it? Discipline, card number one. Innocence, card number two. Abuse, card number three. Overwhelmed, card number four. I know it's hard to read, but it lies and secrecy. 2, 3, 4, 5. Laughter and space. And let's pull 3 more because we have to say again, you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. And you'd be like, well, I don't act like that. That person acted immature. That person doesn't know what they want. That person is so indecisive. They're avoidant. Like, what the hell is that? How, like, you can see why you would ask that question. You're like, why would I attract that person into my life? What is the universe trying to tell me with this bogus energy? Limitless potential, leap of faith, and one more, release control. So, we look at the inner child cards first because the inner child wounds, what you'll see is when you don't heal what has happened in childhood, whatever that trauma was, it creates an imprint, and that imprint on the subconscious mind. And what you'll see is that same karmic theme continues to play out within your relationships until you heal it. So you have to say, well, what needs to be integrated? And really, if you grew up again in abuse, that could be psychological, it could be emotional, it could be physical abuse, or watching someone be abused. If you watched your mother be abused, she was in a toxic relationship, or your father. I actually watched my father be abused like over and over and over again, and that did a lot of trauma to me. So you can inherit, trauma. You don't always have to be the one that went through it. This is when children tend to always go back on a rescue mission, right? And try to like rewrite their story where they tend to be attracted to their mother or their father or the same types of chaos. Now, that's what we see here with the overwhelmed. It was overwhelming for you, because if you don't trust your mom or your dad, or you're more concerned about your survival, and psychological survival is the same to the spirit as physical survival, doesn't know the difference. Your mind just sees it as survival, and your emotional survival is just as important as the other two. So spirit's saying it's like the abuse and how overwhelming that is. Even watching that, it meant that you didn't discipline yourself to do the things that you needed to do to create your own life, because your mind can't be in two places at one time. You were in survival mode, and that was, being the fixer, the helper, trying to like deal with what was going on in your environment, just trying to keep the peace, not get yelled at. I mean, when our parents are not in a good mood because they're not in a good relationship, well, they're a lot of times are projecting their anger onto their children, not really meaning to, but it creates it's very overwhelming, and it like steals the innocence. This person stole the innocence from this connection too, with their lies. Again, past life connection is, oh, I feel the connection, like, you feel like home, like, I'm going to associate you with unconditional love because this, karmic connection, that's what it feels like. It's like, I recognize you, the deja vus, even the universe is getting involved even while we're in separation. However, because of you, what you keep doing, the innocence is gone, and you feel, guess what, when you grew up in the environment that you grew up in, like the innocence was gone also, because you weren't allowed to just have your unfoldment process of finding out who you were. It was more about survival and taking care of yourself. And so spirit says that again meant that there left a lot of, you have a lot of space to create new, because you're not the lies and the secrets that were pretty much told to you. The lies and the secrets of not really feeling safe, not really, again, when we grow up in survival mode, we're not getting good results. We're always feeling a little inadequate because, we're not trained to be open and connecting when we're in that mode. So spirit's saying, you have to reparent yourself. It's like you can't go back in time and fix the abuse, but you can discipline yourself. And again, you're not the traumas of your past, to create. Look at all this empty space to do whatever you want to do, to create, to bring yourself laughter. Laughter was obviously stolen, because of the lies and the secrecies, of, what was going on in your home. Obviously, like if you were brought up in an environment with abuse, most children don't really share a lot, with other people, or they don't tell everyone everything. They hide it. But again, they're conditioned in an environment to feel as if there's something wrong with them, especially if their parent is being abusive. We're supposed to be able to trust our parents. We're supposed to feel safe with them. Again, we're supposed to be able to be innocent and play and dream. So again, that's how you manifest. When you meet people and they say, "Oh, when I was a little kid, I always wanted to do this, and now this is my dream. I became it." It takes that long to manifest, a lifetime. That's how long. When you're putting your time and your energy and your focus and your money on creating yourself, becoming yourself. How do you think a painter does a beautiful work, they did that their entire life? They started at 5. That's when they fell into it. A musician, they started at 6, 7 years old. A dancer, they started at 4. They started at 2. That it's again, now they're in Juilliard. Now they're at Rockefeller Center. That's how it happens from the support. There wasn't support for you to create yourself. You were in survival mode. So spirit says, well, now you have to be the parent to discipline yourself, to do it. And again, and this space is, you get to choose whatever that is. And what spirit was saying is, well, understand there's limitless potential here. Don't cut yourself off to be connected to this person, Mr. or Mrs. Indecision. It's like, again, I got problems. Oh, I got problems. It's like their problem is the fact that they think that there's a problem. It's like, and it's just that simple. It's like, so it's spirit saying, release control. You can't control the situation. Even though this is a past life connection and there is unconditional love, the spirit saying, it's like you want this person to follow you, to release control. Well, spirit says you release control, and again, take the leap. I don't know where that card is, but I know we got it. It was leap of faith, and that was here we go. Found it. Leap of faith, like take a bold step in a different direction away from this person. That's how, because it's not like that love will ever die. Love is love. This person is just, oh, I just don't know because, but I know you have feelings for me, so maybe you'll just come to me because I'm not. It's like, no. Spirit saying it's like take a leap of faith and in the opposite direction. It's like cut your energy off. It's like karmically, it's like if you want this person to eat the karma because they're so indecisive, It's like either you want to make a self-fulfilling prophecy that, then then that's what you have to do. It's like it's not to pamper this person, because that's normally what they get. They get people say, "Oh no, everything's gonna be okay." Yeah, it's like you're like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, because again, they on top of it, they're gonna act self-righteous. They're gonna act like they're like so great when meanwhile they want me to pamper them and do it. They don't say what they mean. They don't mean what they say. And then when you ask them, they're like, "Oh, because of whatever had transpired in the past. That's not your problem." Spirit says you have limitless potential. It's like really the only limits are the ones that you impose on yourself. And that's for this person too. So, this isn't your person. Really, that's what Spirit says. You can achieve great things. And so take the leap of faith in a totally different direction. Take a bold step, even if your path is not fully visible. And that's really what Spirit's saying is better than being connected to this person. And release control, meaning that the universe always has your back, but not if you're going to stay connected to somebody that's like, "Oh, well, I don't really know," because then the universe is saying, "Oh, are we not valuing ourselves? Oh, well, I'm not, there's karmic consequences for that." It's like, but if you're again doing what you need to do for you, well, the universe will eventually bring you people, situations, and experiences that take you away from this person. And then this person will say, "Well, I had the opportunity." And believe me, the universe will make your life look good too, just because the universe doesn't want this person to stay in a place of cutting themselves off from love. It's like, you don't get rewarded for being a martyr or "I've been victimized." It's like, it's to be courageous. Spirit says the whole point of why we are here in the physical form is to be the expression of love by connecting to people. And this person's like, "No, I don't believe I'm deserving of it." So, the universe says, well, that was an opportunity for them to step it up in this lifetime. They're going to have to come back next lifetime. And they've already done this. It's like they keep going through this thing. So it's not like they'll ever really lose that connection to you. They'll always have it. It's again, this person, just, I feel like they've made promises. They know that that's what that you want. In order for them to really fix it, at this point, they would have to actually come in and like promise you something. Um, and in order to fix it, they would need to actually, again, be more devoted, caring, and passionate. And that's their feeling. They know what you want because it's saying it right here. Um, Romance. And there is enough energy between you two, like, again, the romance. So again, it just goes back. It's like, what are they going to do? It's like, it's just the challenges, but the only challenges are the ones that are in this person's head. And so, again, it goes back to that hidden. Again, it's like, nope, as long as they want to, again, create personas and keep things hidden from you and not really be transparent, the relationship will never go. It's like this person wants what they want and they don't want to have to change to do it. It's like, that's what it is. It's like, and they just feel like, well, if I, procrastinate a little bit longer, well, then maybe. And so Spirit's saying, nope, you know what you have to do. It's like, again, you have to take a leap of faith in the opposite direction, because this person's going to feel it. It's not like they don't think that you're going to detach, is what I feel like, because they're like, well, if I just like slow walk it a little bit longer, and no one wants to be in a relationship like that. It's like, no one wants that. It's like this person is showing you. It's like they said they don't know what they want. They're acting like they don't know what they want. So it doesn't matter what else that they do or say. Well, it actually does matter what they do, not what they say, because the double messages are that's what it is. And that's what Spirit's saying. It's like, don't stay connected to this person. It's just going to hold you back, especially when other opportunities are on the horizon for you. Spirit says, goodness, refine your character and overcome difficulties by remaining positive. Calm your heart and illuminate your intellect to transform shadow into light. You consciously manifest goodness in and around you. Improve the qualities for the benefit of all. So I feel like Spirit said this was to, like, again, a karmic test. Like, if what it's saying is, hey, listen, like, right now you could either be tied up with this person that's going to give you nothing and stay indecisive, or you can take a leap of faith into the unknown with all this empty space, per se, which is just time, to create what you want to create, the life that you want. You get to do it now. And there's limitless potential. Like, you're in a place where you've already, like, racked up enough good karma rewards points, I feel like. So Spirit's saying, like, like, the world can be your oyster. This person, like, isn't going to do anything because of how they feel. And really, you're a being of light. Accept the divine energy in your body, and every one of your cells regenerates. So I feel like part of this was not just to, find your goodness and to give and receive of love, to become love. However, I also feel like it was, yeah, held on to spiritual blockages, and spiritual blockages make it very difficult for the oxygen, the air, chi, spirit, because that's what, air, prana is. Prana is also known as spirit because it's part of the universe, and its job needs to be able to flow through you. But when we have blocks, it's like it makes it very difficult for the prana to work through us. And so spirit's saying is like, this will also help gain, like, more energy to help you release spiritual blockages from childhood by saying, no, I'm not going to choose you, and someone that's indecisive, that's going to, make me feel as if I'm unworthy. I'm going to choose myself, and I'm going to go into the unknown. And I'm going to find my goodness. And as I find my goodness, I'm refining my character. And as I'm refining my character, I'm evolving into a higher state of consciousness, which is just unconditional love, because I'm seeing things from a totally different perception. And that is really what gives you more energy, because you're an energy being. When we feel depressed and hurt, and we're connected to a person that's like, an energy vampire, we're tired, we feel weary. Like, that's how you felt connected to this person, because again, that's what they create. They create the unnecessary drama. So not being connected to this person, you're going to actually have more energy, and that more energy to help you again on your path, which is what spirit was saying, like, hey, there's limitless potential. Whatever you want to do, now is the time to do it. You got the time. It's like, this is how you'll raise your energy. That's how you integrate the spiritual lesson. You weren't allowed to create yourself in childhood. You were in survival. So Spirit's saying now, it's use those gifts that you got in childhood, which it would be like you're more intuitive, more creative, more, and ground them to become yourself. So that's how you transmute that negative energy that you take out. You start with this energy, right? Your perceptions about yourself, and you are grounding it by becoming yourself. And like I said, that's how you're seeing yourself different, but it's also because other people now are viewing you differently, and that also helps you view yourself differently. And that is how you are being guided away from this person, which is really what needs to happen in order for them to, like, eat the karma, because they know what they're doing. It's like, it's just by being, you know, uh, procrastinating. I'm not saying that they don't have a low self-esteem. They do, but then they shouldn't be trying to date someone or be with someone that's on a higher level of energy. What they're trying to do is get you to lower your energy in order to be with them, and not what this connection is. That would stagnate you. That would actually, you'd be eating their karma. That's what you'd be doing. You'd be blocking yourself from opportunities. And that actually, again, drains energy. And that's what spirit's saying. Like, was there love? Yeah, there's love, but the person's not healed enough. And again, it's time that they eat the karma. And that's going to happen when you again jump into, like, on your path. Because again, part of them feels like maybe you'll never let go. And what they'll see is that they had the opportunity, but they lost. That's why the song goes, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Okay, so that's that. Does anyone have any questions? Why does only one of the children end up with all of the worst? What the wrong with us? Like, oh, well, I feel like it's not usually one. Sometimes it's if you grew up in an environment, it's like what you grew up with. It's like whatever the imprint was. You can have three kids that grow up in the same house, and everyone is kind of treated differently. Everyone plays a role, remember. So usually the fixer is the one that gets the crap, and the fixer is the one that taught the most that love was transactional, that you had to give of yourself in order to be loved. And then what happens is that if you give of yourself too much, you abandon yourself, because the number one spiritual law that you cannot break is to abandon yourself. But when you're with a karmics tend to get you to, lower your boundaries, get off your path. So it's really important to choose you. That's really what that usually one person in the family was taught to be the fixer and not to love themselves as much. And it wasn't because they would say, hey, don't love yourself, but they got their love from giving and from doing. So again, they were conditioned. Now, remember, a lot of times we create habits and behaviorisms that helped us to survive. But if we try and use those same habits and behaviorisms when we're out of that situation, they tend to sabotage us. So, what they block us from seeing, so that we actually have to handle the situation differently. And because there's many different realities that play out at one time, so you can actually have the reality that you want play out the way that you want it to play out if you, again, do certain things. But if you're dealing with the karmic, you wouldn't, yes, you can do things, but it would still be like imbalanced, because you're like, yeah, I had to sit there and I had to ignore them and I had to like do their job. And you're like, again, you'd still have to like control, and that it's supposed to be in a connection like that. That's again a karmic contract. So, what is this? Why this? So, yeah, the trader, but has to pretend to buy them to survive. Well, it's true. Like, it's when a person doesn't know who they are, they have a hard time being emotionally intimate and transparent. So what you'll notice is they're so logical and analytical a lot of times, not all the time, but they tend to be good in business, and they're just throwing money at you, as a way of, showing that they care. But it's the way that they then are associating themselves with money, and then has all the control due to their money, and it's not good to be in a relationship like that. That's narcissistic, usually very narcissistic. Put them in a bubble and send them off to the mountaintop to fly. I feel like karmic relationships are about that, mainly to teach us. It's just there's so much chemistry and there is so much unconditional love that if you're not balanced and you have wounds, then, unfortunately, you can definitely fall prey to the consequences of the karmic mate, which is, overgiving and then feeling like you have a big hole in your heart, and feeling like, again, the person, didn't value you, when really the key is just don't abandon yourself. The moment that someone comes into your life and they try to get you to not be consistent in your hobbies, hang out with your friends, you know, um, they try to dominate your energy, is the moment that you know that you're in a connection with the karmic. And I don't understand this. Like I've had friends literally that I'm not no longer friends with because they literally just keep getting into very bad karmic relationships. And when I say horrible, they lost their house, they lost their business, they lost, I mean, big things, like really big things. And that what happens is they wind up dating someone that comes in and they dominate the person and they make them like lose all their friends. They don't want them to be friends with any of their friends. Remember, it's divide and conquer. So again, you'll know by the way that the karmic is. If you have a lot of friends, then this person feels like they can't control you. They're going to, again, make it difficult for you. So again, anybody that makes you sway from like your life pretty much is someone that you shouldn't have in your life. It means that they're not strong enough if they have to make you change their life. Now, it doesn't look like that, especially when they come on all lovey-dovey and again, very sexually, which is what we saw here. This person paid a lot of attention to the physical connection and dominating. And if you're paying attention to that, you're definitely not setting boundaries. And that happens a lot in karmic connections because there is an intense connection. It's not like there isn't. So that's why it's a challenge. But you pass the test here. This person's going to feel it. And that's the whole point that Spirit says that it all works out because the universe really doesn't care whether you choose to be with them or not, because either they'll rise or they're going to be in pain later. It's like, and they'll figure it out that way. It's like we don't want to learn through pain and suffering. We want to learn through, you know, the experience of experiencing joy and passion and unconditional love. And we can do that by never abandoning ourselves, always becoming what we love. And that'll help us connect to other like minded people. And then you'll be able to see whether or not a person is a karmic and they coming in with bad intention, or are they karmic to come in and show you something from a positive perception. There's many different types. All right. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. I'll talk to you guys later. Good night.